Hey everyone, welcome to this attempt here at explaining context for coaches that are out there. It's been a big request. A lot of people, we talk about context a lot in the Training Science podcast, in Hit Science and Athletica, and just how important that is. So what Andi and I kind of thought we would do, Andi Boecherer, everyone, triathlete extraordinaire. Welcome to the Training Science podcast, Andi. So yes, and what we just kind of decided we do, like nothing is really planned here. It's not going to be that polished, but what we thought we would do is just sort of, we're going to go through what it is that we need to do as athlete coach to get Andi to the start line in I guess a decent fashion. So he's ready to perform. I'm just looking for, there we are. There you go. I got my Training Peaks. So we're still using Training Peaks. We're going to move towards using the Athletica platform in the future as soon as our coach version is up and running. But for now, we're still using the Training Peaks platform. So we'll go there in a sec. Andi, do you want to give some people some context? Where have you just been? Where are we right now? We are in, we're in February 12th, and what have you decided to do, bro?
Yeah, hi from my side. I just returned from a 3-week training camp on the Canary Islands 1 week ago. So I'm just ramping up training again. So returning to cold weather, like 20 degrees colder, and the overall fatigue from the training camp put me really in the ditch for like 3 days, and was I was really tired. But now like 2 or 3 days now I feel much better, and I'm ready to build into a training block at home. So on the Canary Islands I did a lot of volume on the bike, and now I'm ramping up the swim and run volume, and focus on the bike will be to build peak power, and so I can just go down in the basement and do hard sessions. So they're often just last 90 minutes, but they are intensive. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, nice. Well described. I saw Alan Cousins actually posted something really good on Twitter the other day where he was talking exactly about that, Andi, where you're it's really vital to get a little bit of some sort of a foundational base under you before you kind of commence into the higher intensity bandwidths. It's just nice practice. And I think that's from a physiology standpoint, that's basically because fat basically can come in and take a little bit more of the play in terms of a metabolic, contributor to the efforts, right? And you recover faster, and for whatever reason, it's you just get that the whole quality happens a little bit better. Wouldn't you say, Annie?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it sounds a little bit like the old school approach to start with volume, but before the camp at home, I did some intensive work on the bike, and then in the camp I could just concentrate on volume, and I mean, also let the mountains do the work, they say, and a lot of honest kilometers, and building some strength endurance on the fly. So I think it works to have a good base, and I could sense that last year because I trained mainly at home due to COVID travel restrictions, and then jumped into Dubai 70.3, and I mean, I had the peak power I would have needed, but the overall volume on the bike was just not there. So the performance was substandard for me, I would say. And that's that's why I went early to a camp, and yeah, I think we're on a good path now.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. I remember that. I remember that 70.3 Dubai, and it was, yeah, it wasn't your typical domination out there on the bike. You were kind of just, you were holding in there in the front group with, I think it was 8 of you or so, and but you weren't you weren't taking too many pulls from what you told me. I think.
Yeah, I mean the whole race was senseless because from the organizational standpoint, but also I mean my legs were just not there. But yeah, it was good to do the race, so at least then you know where you're at.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, so we learned, and again, that's one of the should be a huge take-home message for all athletes, coaches out there. It's always a learning process, right? So how old are you now, Andy? Can I ask?
Yes, you may. Just about to turn 39 in April.
Nice, buddy. And I think you were a late bloomer to the sport. So anyone out there that's late bloomer, don't give up. I think you were like 25 or something when you kind of started, wasn't that? Like it was pretty late, wasn't it?
Not really, like 18.
18.
Little triathlon.
Right. But we had Alistair on, and it's not like you started when you were 11 or anything like that, right? And it was, yeah, but you weren't pro until you were kind of 25 or so, though, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we were really getting serious. Anyways, yeah, so training age is key. But yeah, and pretty impressive longevity, one of the elders in the sports, but still dominating, winning Lanzarote last year, which was awesome. And that'll come into the conversation later. Just to give people a little bit more context, we are going to show the Training Peaks diary here in a sec. But basically, yeah, so you went into Canary Islands, 2 to 3 week kind of training camp. And I'm just looking at some of the totals here. 34 hours 1 week, 30 hours the next. I guess those are really, yeah, and 25 hours in the other one as well. So 25, 34, 30 were total hours. So big block. That's why you're kind of tired coming home and stuff. But yeah, very, a lot of aerobic training, but it was really fun watching because you really adapted substantially throughout the camp. You could feel yourself getting stronger, no?
Yeah, I mean, that's I mean, this is what where I'm really old school is that I believe in detraining in the off season. So I see a lot of people just taking break for 2 weeks, and I'm more like a pro cyclist. Like I take a long off season because I think like the mental aspect, and also like I'm juggling family with pro life, so I need a little bit more time. But then it's the lower you start, the the steeper is the slope of progress. So
yeah.
And also like as a background information, like I struggled with a cold and arrived in the camp a little bit ill, but also like the change in weather and location is somehow is inspiring to the immune system, and yeah, it took me another 2 or 3 days to get healthy, and from then on I was able to rebuild pretty quickly.